Hi everyone. I didn't get a chance to go over an upcoming event with you guys because obviously we were out due to the snow, but because there will not be another chance for me to present this to you as a full group, I wanted to go ahead and make this video so that I could give you a heads up about an exciting event coming up on January 30th, and it is called Edcamp. So I put together this little presentation to go over what Edcamp is and what it's going to look like for us. So for those who are not familiar with the Edcamp concept, basically what it is, it's called an unconference. So many of us, when we go to conferences, we're very used to having an established schedule ahead of time so we know who's speaking or who's presenting on which topics. Where those rooms are, and basically we expect to go and sit in the room and receive information. Well, Edcamp is very different. It's called an unconference because it's not necessarily structured in the same ways. It's more of a gathering of people, of experts in our case, to share and learn in a very open environment. It is interactive, it is very collaborative, there are a lot of different types of discussions and demonstrations, sort of showing off what we are able to do and what we are doing successfully in our classroom with our students. So the people who are the main actors of this event are the participants. In this case, it would be us. So anyone who is not involved with the spring break mission will be able to come to Edcamp on Monday, January 30th. So how is it organized? As I said, unlike traditional conferences, the sessions really aren't pre-planned or scheduled. What happens is we come together and as a group, we plan the day together. So on this day, again, Monday, January 30th, we will have from 12:15 until 4 p.m. So we'll come together at 12:15, we'll take a little time to have a discussion, and we can plan the events or the sessions together. And they're really based on what we need or what we see as our needs, either as instructors or with our students or in our classrooms, etc. So the participants are the ones who suggest the ideas. For instance, if you want to learn more about a specific technology or you want to learn more about what another instructor is doing to engage their students, you might say, hey, I want to learn more about this. So people volunteer ideas, and then other participants volunteer to teach them, and vice versa. You are not required to present. However, anyone with a good idea is certainly encouraged to start a conversation. Again, this is not formal. You're not expected to have a formal presentation. It really is about going into a room, sitting down and having a discussion. What are you doing? How is it working? And then engaging people in a discussion on how it could work for them. It really is all about learning and sharing. And on top of that, we can have what is called a back channel conversation. So if you're not able to go to all the sessions, which we won't because they will be concurrent, you can see what other people are talking about, what other people are getting excited about, so that you can find them later on and have a discussion about what they learned and keep that conversation going. So this is an example of an Edcamp that I did at William & Mary. So we got together in that day at the beginning, and we had filled out just this top row of the location and the far left column for the sessions and the times. And then all of this was left blank, and this got populated based on our conversation. So for instance, someone said, I'm really interested in learning more about Prezi and how to use that in my classroom and with my students. So someone volunteered to talk through Prezi, and so we put that on the board. Another example was somebody wanted to learn more about open educational resources. So when somebody said that, another person volunteered to talk through what they have experienced with open ed resources. So that's the example. Another one is flipped classroom. So as a group, we will decide what do we want to learn more about, who's gonna talk through these conversations, and we'll create the schedule together. And then over here on the right side is an example of how we kept that back channel conversation going. So we use Twitter and we used a hashtag, and then one of the screens in the building, we were able to show what these conversations were like, so that if you weren't on Twitter, you could still see it. So that's an example of something that we can do here. So again, as I said, it's going to be on Monday, January 30th from 12:15 to 4 p.m. I have reserved the auditorium, classrooms 2 and 3, as well as ACR 1, so we have room to spread out. I'm working on arranging box lunches, similar to what Trina set up a few weeks ago, so that hopefully, if it all works out, the proceeds will go to Mission Fund. So as soon as I have those details, I will inform you. But no matter what, whether we have the box lunches arranged or not, everybody can bring their lunch, and that's how we can start the session with our discussion to plan the day. So what are the rules? And I use the word rules very loosely. So first of all participants are considered experts, because we are. Everyone in this building, in this college, is an expert in education, in nursing. You are the expert at the front of the room, and there are so many wonderful things that you are doing with your students to engage them, to get them to critically think. So we want to learn from each other. We want to collaborate. All participants are expected to interact and collaborate. Again, you're not expected to present if you don't want to, but when you attend the session, you are expected to interact in that conversation and ask questions and really push other people's thinking. And then finally, the law of 2 feet. So when we go to a typical conference, we go into a session and we sit down and we start listening, and sometimes we get what we need in the first few minutes. And sometimes the session isn't quite what we were expecting, and there was another session that we wanted to check out. So we often feel like, ooh, I can't really get up and go because I don't want to be rude. Well, in Edcamp, it's just the opposite. We want you to get as much information as you possibly can from this day. So the expectation is, if you go to a session and you get immediately what you need, or you feel comfortable with the information or the resources given to you so that you can pop over to another session, you're encouraged to get up and move those 2 feet. So whoever is presenting or having a discussion with a group, please don't be offended. There's going to be a lot of shuffling, and that's part of the excitement about Edcamp. But wait, there's more. So here are a few questions that I'm often asked. The very first one is, do I have to be a techie? Meaning, do I have to be really, really expert at using technology in the classroom? The answer is no. This is not a tech-centric type of conference or professional development. It doesn't have to be about technology. You'll often hear people wanting to learn more about technology because that's such a big thing in education. However, if you're not comfortable and there's something else that you want to talk about, then volunteer that topic. Or if somebody else says, I want to learn more about how people are using small groups in their classroom, or how people are using different presentation techniques, that doesn't have to be technology based. So no, you don't have to be a techie. The second question, what do I bring? Well, first you bring yourself and your enthusiasm, and I would suggest bringing your laptop or some kind of device. Oftentimes you'll want to take notes or be able to share resources, especially if you're leading a discussion. You may want to be able to bring something up on the computer or connect to the computers in the different rooms that we'll be able to use. The third question, what will I take away? Well, hopefully what you will take away is a lot of new information, a lot of ideas for how you can use different techniques in your classroom and with your students. You're not going to necessarily walk away with any final products, but you're certainly, hopefully, going to feel inspired, and especially inspired to continue the discussions that you start on this day in Edcamp. The fourth, how do I prove I took part in Edcamp? Well, if you take part, then I'm going to send you a certificate that you can add to your professional file, and that we will keep on file in your instructor file here at the college as part of your professional development. And then finally, the question that I get asked a lot is, how do I pursue an idea I learned? Again, you're encouraged to have those ongoing conversations, approach a faculty member that brought up something interesting, meet with them or meet in a group, or just continue those discussions. You can do it in person or digitally, email them, tweet them if you want. you can come talk to me. I am very happy to meet one-on-one or in small groups if someone or a group of people are interested in pursuing an idea in the classroom, especially when it comes to technology. I will support you in any way that you would like. And then the very last one, if people are really interested in big picture, Edcamp actually offers grants that we can apply for to implement larger ideas. So there are a lot of different ways that you can pursue ideas based on what you learn and engage in Edcamp. Email me if you have any questions or any concerns, or if you have ideas for the day. And I am so excited that we can do this together. So yeah, so email me if you have any questions. Thank you.